Welcome back to the channel. Today I have the keys to the new Toyota Supra. The guys at Leslie's Toyota have come through and invited me down to check out the new Toyota Supra. Sorry about the road behind me. We're gonna start with a walk round of the Toyota Supra, one of the most hyped cars in the industry for a petrol head like me to come out in my generation, maybe in the last 10 years. But I want to go through, show you little quirks and features, little bits and bobs on this exact Toyota Supra. And as you can see, it is in the glorious red colour. So coming up front, we have the front bumper, a bit of a controversial front bumper. Contours and the look. Remember the old design that came out of this car? It sort of keeps in keeping with that look. So you have this splitter at the front, curving up into the bumper. Really cool design here. Coming down with all of this black bit in the centre. Really aggressive front end. Coming up to the headlights as well. Beautiful set of headlights with the multiple headlight going down. Really is a gorgeous front end. And I know a few people hit and miss about the front end. I like it in person. It looks incredibly more aggressive than picture can ever show, especially with these winglets coming up the side with these unfortunately fake air vents, but still gives a bit more shape to the actual car. Things I wanted to chat about is how long this bonnet is from where you sort of sit in the car and how far away the front bumper is. It's incredibly long, really nice shape. I mean, look at the front as it sort of curves down with these, again, unfortunately fake air vents, but it just gives a little bit more character, a little bit more contour to this car coming down. Another thing I absolutely love, which I didn't actually notice from pictures and stuff, was how indented the bodywork actually goes. Side skirt coming down just like the front of the car, and again coming up at the back there with another vent just in the door there. But again, unfortunately they are fake. A few quirky bits on this car from my time with it. Number one being the size of the fuel flap. It's massive, absolutely massive. The rear quarter here, look at the size of that fuel flap. It means that it comes up to this glorious rear end. The rear end is my favourite part on this car. You get that angle, just looks exactly like it should have from the renders way back. You have this big diffuser at the back that comes around again with these fins going up the side of the car, coming all the way around. Love the fact that they brought the Supra plaque back as well with the GR logo there. Coming up to the boot, which has a really large flicky up spoiler right here, gives a little bit more depth to the rear end. Very cool, handsome looking car this. I mean, just that sort of shot there, very good looking rear end. The other thing about the rear end, and something that I really want to point out, is this light cluster down here, which actually has, if you see, the actual fog light in the center with the reverse light going round, again in keeping with the original design that we saw years and years ago. Another quirky thing is how big the boot is. The depth I think is the same, if not equivalent, to a Ford Fiesta, but the entry hole, it contours to the shape of the car. Again, quirky features. Now we're going to jump inside to show you guys. Look, literally brand new this car. Even got a bit of factory plastic still on the door, but if we shut the door, inside it is incredibly different how I was thinking, because if you see, the roof line is actually higher than my head, so a lot higher than my head, but the door line is really low. So as you're driving, and I know it's really hard to show this on camera, the actual window size is so small, and you'll see in a minute when we're actually driving. I had to mount the camera here, and it was incredibly hard to actually get it in between this part, because there is literally, let's say, 6 fingers between the top of this and the bottom of this. It does give a really good driving experience. So as you're driving, there is just a low cut roof, but you still have bulges in the headliner. That means there's a lot more headroom than I was expecting. Now this is actually the Supra Pro edition, which means it comes with JBL speakers, these leather seats, and it comes up with the heads-up display. Something that if you were speccing one of these, I would definitely go for, because the seats are incredibly comfortable. Obviously the Mark IV, harping back, GT car, but fast car, sporty car at the same time. This gives the same sort of feel because these are so comfortable but supportive. They've got really, really good bolsters on them. Inside though, carbon fibre down here, flappy paddles, all that good stuff. And a nice welcome screen, look at that. Even down here, you can see there is actually speakers moulded into the rear of the car there. This one also down here has the wireless charging, heated seats, and you do have the BMW infotainment system that many people would know about already. As you can see coming out the car, this is where the headspace is really created, because the channels that go down the car, it's got really big bulges, again giving a lot more shape, as you can see right there, to the car and the roof line. So you've got a lot more space inside, and as you can see the top of the car is sort of here, and the windows sort of start a lot lower than that. But yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous car this. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab the keys, get out on the road, go and see what this thing is like. So, would you like to introduce yourself to my lovely YouTube channel?
Hello, I'm James. I'm Toyota salesman, Leslie's Motors on the Isle of Wight.
And I've stolen you for the day and your Toyota Supra that you brought in. I'm a big fan of Toyota as a brand. I've had many Toyotas in the past. What we're here today is really talk about. I haven't driven one, seen many of them.
10 years ago, I worked at a Ferrari and Maserati dealership, so I'm used to this
sort of style.
Type of thing.
We were talking straight away how low the roof line, and the windows are tiny. Even the camera right in front of us, it took me a while to actually get a good position for it, because the windscreen is tiny, and the actual roof pillars and stuff are really, really close. It's sort of like a supercar, isn't it? Like that sort of style with a smaller window. 3-litre twin scroll turbo, 340 horsepower. We were talking as well, you just filled it up with petrol. You thought you'd stopped at the petrol pump, but it was like far away from it, because where you sit in the car is like so far back. It's a very, very different driving experience from the usual sports car. So driving mode, we're in normal at the moment.
We're just in normal auto. Yeah.
Real world driving though, what have you noticed the MPG figure is?
I just reset it coming back from a petrol station, and admittedly it was less than a mile, just tipping the 30 mark.
Since we set off from the dealership a couple of minutes ago, it's doing 25.6. This one from the factory's 55, I think it's spec'd up was?
At 54, 55.
Because this one has the Supra Pro, we have nicer sound system as well, 2 extra speakers I think, which is the JBL sound system, and it has the leather seats as well. You're talking without a spec, you know, just from the factory, it's about 52, 53.
52, 53.
This one we're driving today is 55, but you would go for the pack, wouldn't you? You would go for it because you want the nicer sound system and heads-up display. That's just one of those boxes you would check. So driving modes, we go from, well, you just press sport on.
There you go.
Oh yeah, and it starts kicking down.
Turns auto start off.
Oh yeah.
And then you can and then you can configure.
Oh, so you've still got individual like the BMW sort of thing, so you can still get what you want. So 4th gear, I like that everything's got a little bit more red in front of me as well. I like that. See what you mean about it being a little bit more. It doesn't necessarily open a valve, but it does sound more aggressive.
It's got a bit more of a.
It's got a bit more. Oh yeah, there's pops and bangs.
It's got a gruff.
Yeah, like a good gruff.
Gear change picks up.
Yeah, response. The gearbox is very, very fast. The crazy thing is, I think this car's come out and there's a lot of hype behind it. A lot of people want to drive it. A lot of people out there are already developing aftermarket parts for this. And I know we're not really talking about the modified stuff because this is a dealership car and all that sort of stuff, but I do get why so many people are jumping on the bandwagon, because just from a little drive in it, it's very, very nice. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
The gearbox is really responsive. I really like that. And the steering just feels very direct. Although you're quite far away from the front axle, there's only light adjustments that are actually needed for you to throw it around, which is quite nice. Love the little burble that is coming, that's kicking out from the back. It does do it a lot lower in the RPM, like there. We're at 4th gear, 3,000 RPM, and it'll still give a little burble, which I quite like. Seamless, the power as well. I'm booted it or put my foot right down, because we are literally in the wettest conditions we could get for a rear-wheel drive little sports car like this. But
Toyota's Japaneseness.
Yeah. Oh, it shows. 100% shows.
I think even they shocked the guys from BMW when they were doing engine tests.
Yeah.
BMW thought we'd sorted it.
And they were like, no, we'll do some more bits, don't worry about that.
Toyota came back and said, well, hang on
a minute, we'll have a little play with this, little play with that.